Thank you. Stay with us because we are joined by Jewish News One correspondent Ron Jacobsohn. Ron, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, I did my softer Hollywood voice. Yes! What do you have for us today?
Well, we're continuing to talk about Phillip Seymour Hoffman. The funeral is going to happen tomorrow in the Upper East Side in New York. It's going to be a private ceremony, just for family and friends, and but the whole story has been gaining a lot of
steam. It's not. I mean, this happened, I think, at the beginning of the week, right? It happened on Monday. There's reportage. Just social media is filled with it still. Reportage all over, and I think there's also been some arrests that were happening.
Yes. Yeah. There were like 4 people that were arrested in Manhattan with envelopes full of material,
right,
substance
heroin,
material and stuff. So yeah, and the family has been also flooded with especially celebrity friends who have come to their side. We're talking about Mimi O'Connor, of course, the partner of Phillip Seymour Hoffman, he has 3 children. And that is one of the things that I think that is very nice this time around. The children are completely out of the picture. We've not seen any pictures of them or any attempts to interview them.
No, which is very important because it's a tragic story on so many levels, and I think people, nobody even wonders why this is getting so much traction and coverage. Amazing actor, so very young.
And I must tell you, I've met him over the years in Hollywood, and as we like to say here in Israel, the address was on the wall, the message was on the wall. He was always very kind of stoned, very, in his voice you could tell that he's not completely right there.
And you interviewed him in the past?
Yes, several times. And I've met him at award shows and premieres, and it was always like he was on something. There's the difference between being high on pot and then being high on heroin.
Which is very sad because, and again, I know this is all reports, but supposedly he did detox and go into rehabilitation at an early age of 22, and nobody knows when the relapse really happened. There's reports that he and his partner actually were separated towards the last several years.
Yes.
But to hear that this was, and again, it's such a, you always look at these successful artistic people and you think, why does it always end up, and so many times, it ends up with, this type of case scenario?
Because Hollywood is, and acting and media is a very, very hard place to survive and to be on top. And some people,
I wouldn't know.
And some people, need the help from outside sources, if it's alcohol, if it's different substances, and that's why we see so many people ending up in rehab after a while. And I think that this story specifically, if we look at it from a distance in a few years, and maybe they'll do a movie about it, the story of finding someone dead with a needle in his arm is it's like very chilling.
It's chilling. It's chilling because when the scene was described, a Manhattan apartment in the bathtub with the needle, like a scene out of a movie, and you
completely
think, really, it's like a scene out of a movie, like a character he would play in many ways. Which is
now I'm chilled.
Yeah, no, it's horrifying.
I audibly said, "Oh my God," when I read that alone in my apartment.
Right. No, it's terrifying, and you think this is a man who one would think in 2005 it was that he won the Oscar for Capote, right? And so many successes that possibly cannot be handled. But really horrifying. As you said, the writing was on the wall, which is also the sad part about it. But there are no mechanisms, I'm assuming, in Hollywood at play to help, its own, nobody really deals with it head on, does it?
No, because what they do is that they usually want to see you do your next movie because they're talking about the bottom line here, and then someone runs out of steam at some point. Sometimes they go to rehab, sometimes they just turn out dead.
In this horrific scene. Okay, what's next? Because I'm
talk about something a little more happier.
A little more uplifting.
Steve Colbert got to interview...
We love Steve Colbert, yes.
The Pussy Riots, who escaped Russia after being released by Putin, quoting them after he got tired and sick of them.
Because they were getting so much media about how horrific it is that they're basically in a slave labor camp.
And basically, with the Olympics coming up tomorrow night, they need to take this kind of publicity out of the way. So the names, like
the names are very hard to pronounce.
For someone who was born Potchlebnik, it's like I have to do it. It's Nadia Tolokinovka and Masha Aleshkian Kia.
Bravo!
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
So they were on the show. Of course, they still don't speak any English, so they were talking through a Russian interpreter.
Right.
And first question up by Colbert, who is amazing, is
Amazing.
have you visited the Olive Garden yet? And they were like,
What the hell is the Olive Garden?
Olive Garden.
Yeah. Olive Garden to all of those. It's like the McDonald's of Italian food.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's not the way to describe it.
And they are getting the celebrity treatment in the U.S. altogether. They performed last night at Bringing Human Rights Home concert by Amnesty International, where they were on stage with Madonna and Lauryn Hill, who came to support them. So I mean, they're getting a lot of publicity, and I think Putin should have thought twice about releasing them, because the publicity, the negative publicity that he's getting is
right now, especially as we've reminded everybody that the Sochi Olympics starting tomorrow, that have brought up to the surface so many issues that are problematic with Russia today. But that's a completely different subject. And what else? Finally.
Okay, so. You will won't take your daughter to this, but my kids are waiting eagerly for this, for the Lego movie. Yes. There has to be.
You're kidding? I'm waiting eagles for the Lego movie. Whoa!
It is an amazing reinvention of the franchise. After we've seen several TV movies and shows like Ninjago, now Warner Brothers have teamed up and created the Lego movie, and it is as much as a kids movie as an adult movie. Warner Bros. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago. How all the studios are now putting together all the assets, the superheroes together. So we have Batman, and we have Superman, and we have the Green Lantern, all in Lego.
All in Lego, that's
and
great.
I must tell you that if you know who is doing the voices in this movie, it's like an amazing cast.
Real quickly, who are they?
Morgan Freeman, Channing Tatum, Liam Neeson,
oh my God,
Will Ferrell, and Oscar nominee Jonah Hill. So there you go.
Gotta love it. People, the Lego movie, so much better than the Barbie one. That's it for us this morning, folks. Visit us on the web or on our Facebook page, I24 News. Remember, it's Bob Marley's 69th birthday, so one love, people, which means you do not forget to join us tomorrow to start your day every single day. Yeah.